Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is beef short ribs with chipotle cream. Today we're smoking up one of my very favorite big cuts of barbecue meats, and it's the beef short rib. These are super simple, takes about 5 hours, which is not that much when you consider the time it takes to cook a brisket or even a pork butt. We're gonna keep it simple with the seasonings, but we're gonna top it off with something really fun. We're making a chipotle cream made in a siphon, so it's almost a foam. So here's what we're working with. These are some chuck short ribs from Creekstone Farms, prime grade, beautiful stuff. You can see the beautiful marbling on these ribs, and of course just the ribs down below. Now in the end, we're just gonna end up eating this top part, because we're gonna slice it off and slice this up to serve. But before we get to any of that, we gotta do just a little bit of trimming. So here on the top, I'm gonna take off any excessive fat because you can see how much intramuscular fat there is. I don't mind some fat on the top. That's always a nice bite, but we don't need anything excessive. So if it's thick or if it's hard, go ahead and cut it off. For the seasoning, like I said, we're keeping it real simple. We're using the Cattleman's Grill Lone Star Brisket rub. This is a rub I developed for the brand that's just salt, pepper, roasted garlic, and celery seed. But being that it's a good sized chunk of meat, we can go fairly generous with the seasoning. Again, the main concern is this meaty side. In fact, I'm not even gonna touch the bone side. We're not gonna take any membranes off. We're not gonna season it, because in the end, we're gonna cut those ribs off and slice this just like you would a brisket. All right, now, no seasoning left behind. Let's clean up that board. We're smoking these beef ribs on the Yoder Smoker's YS640S pellet grill, running hickory pellets at 250 degrees. Now, when I say these are easy, I mean it. There's nothing to do but put it in here and let it smoke until it's done. This rack right here is the exact same one you saw go on just now, but it's been on here for about 5 hours, 4.5. You can see the way those bones have popped out. That's one of the things that happens as it cooks. It kind of shrinks up. It's sitting at about 200 degrees. We're gonna take it to like 205, so we're real close to being done with this one. Now, to make this cream, or this really kind of a foam, because it's going into the siphon with some gelatin, we're gonna start with a couple cups of heavy cream. We'll start heating this up, and then we're just gonna infuse a bunch of different flavors in here. So we got about a half cup of cilantro there. We got a dried chipotle. We're doing the zest from one lime, and actually I'm not gonna add this until afterward because I don't want it to lose all of its essence. But we are gonna also add some garlic. We really just need to crush it, peel it. So we're gonna puree all of this later. Pop those in, and then a little bit of seasoning. Using the Cattleman's tri-tip seasoning here. Lots of great savory flavors. Do about a tablespoon. Now you just want to bring this up to a simmer. Keep a close eye on it though, because cream likes to bubble over. And you don't want it to get scorched. So once that comes to a simmer, we just kind of hold it there, maybe for about 5 minutes, and then let it cool off in the fridge. Everything's hot, super aromatic. We're gonna throw in this lime zest now, so those oils can kind of work their way into the mixture. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna add the gelatin. So I just need some hot water with a little bit of gelatin. And mix that up. Pour it right in. That heat activates the gelatin, so this can firm up just a little bit. Into the fridge. We've hit 205 on the internal temperature, but more importantly, if you probe this thing, you can see just how little resistance there is. It's nice and buttery, and that's where we want it. So let's pull this off and rest it while we put together this cream. So now that this is chilled a bit, we're gonna fish out that chipotle and blitz the rest up. Using the immersion blender here, just to like puree everything. And the reason why we take that chipotle out is it's steeped in there, so we're gonna taste it, but I don't want it to turn this thing all brown, and it definitely will. I learned the hard way. Since we're gonna put this in a siphon, I don't want any solid pieces in there. So now we'll just strain out the rest. It's just those larger chunks of cilantro mostly, like garlic. But again, this has had a lot of time to steep, so all those flavors are now infused into the cream. We've got this really smooth consistency now. This can go straight into your siphon. Now that this is rested, we're just gonna run a knife right along the bone, all the way down, so we can get those boneless slices I was talking about. As you can see, there's not much meat left in between. What there is, we call that chef's necks. I'm gonna slice this just like we would a brisket. Let's take a look at the inside. My goodness, that is juicy. Pretty dang tender. Now we're just loading our CO2 cartridge into the siphon. We'll charge this thing up. All right, let's foam it up. Freaking crazy stuff, man. So it kind of goes on like whipped cream. It looks thick, but it's super airy, and you can see these bubbles here. Those are happening because of that gelatin, so it's really light and airy. Just melts immediately, like a foam, more so than like a whipped cream. I know it looks kind of weird on there, but there's so much flavor in here. You think of something that looks like whipped cream, you think of something sweet. Nope, this tastes like lime, it tastes like chipotle, it tastes like cilantro. And those flavors, right now, as the meat heats up this foam, you can see that it's just melting over the top. Oh. Short ribs might be my favorite cut of beef in general. At this temperature, at this doneness, it's just crazy tender. Pulls apart. It's so fatty. Got great salt, got great crust on the outside, because we never wrapped it. We left it open the whole time. And even that in like 5 to 6 hours. It's such an easy task to do. You know, you want to mess with the foam thing, you don't want to, whatever, cook these beef ribs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.